Welcome back, Officers of Republics, your Coruscant Honorable Police Chief APGAINS, the man, the myth, the walking depression. Today we're going to talk about when you should farm JML. Last episode on when to farm Galactic Legends, we talked about when to farm SLKR. At the end of this video, there'll be a link to that if you're interested in watching. Let's get started. So, I think JML is an interesting Galactic Legend to farm. I do not, and I'm just going to say right now, I do not believe that he is a good first Galactic Legend. Though there can be an argument made. Well, it's not that he's not a good first Galactic Legend. It's I don't think that he should be your first Galactic Legend. And I'll explain why, but of course, let you make your decision afterwards. So I do think the one upside of JML, or not the one upside, but one of the biggest upsides to JML is his requirements. A lot of Galactic Legends, as you know, struggle to produce quality teams in their requirements. Now, obviously, all of the Galactic Legends individually are very good characters, both on offense and sometimes on defense. JML is definitely part of that category. Great offense, great defense. But where I think JML excels over every other Galactic Legend is the characters that you build to get him. Now, most of his requirements, not amazing, but some of his requirements are fantastic. All right, so let's just run through the requirements really quickly, not to waste too much of your time. We'll talk about some pros, some cons. Old Ben, great. I mean, Old Ben's not really a useful character until you start farming JML because he is super useful in the off-meta SLKR counter. Jedi Turning Ray, not super useful. C-3PO kind of helps that CLS team. Mon Mothma, a great squad. 3PO and Chewie, you're already going to have them probably relics, but now you just bump them up. Again, creates a CLS squad. Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker is like a gas level character. If JML, God forbid, the holo tables get cursed with a JML lifter unit, because JML, Jedi Knight Luke, and then lifter Leia or Yoda or whatever, insert whatever theory you have about who JML's lifter could possibly be. This team would be disgusting. But Jedi Knight Luke is basically the first lifter that hit the holo tables for Galactic Legends. And, like I said before, he's very useful in off-meta SLKR counters. He beats a lot of stuff. He's just one of those characters that is unbelievably fantastic in every way, shape, or form. And he's kind of the backbone of why the requirements for JML aren't terrible. Because with other Galactic Legends, you get kind of like one maybe useful team. Here, you're getting an A-level character that can turn pretty much any team into an A-plus level team. Turn your Jedi Knight Revan team from an A team to an A-plus team. It can turn, a random Jedi squad from a C team to an A team. He is fantastic, and he is a large part of why the JML farm is actually not that bad, and the requirements are pretty good. R2-D2, useful some places. Han Solo, Chewbacca, obviously, are fantastic for the CLS team and for fleets. The Rebel Y-Wing is great for your Rebel fleet, especially now that we're going to have the profundity in the game. Having two strong Rebel fleets later in the game is going to be super important, and I will talk about that in the JML farm, because I do believe, and I'll just spoil the rest of the video right here, I do believe JML is one of those really, really, really good second Galactic Legends, right? Because you're going to farm your Core 8, you're going to get your Galactic Legend, you're going to get your Executor, and then I think JML into the profundity to give you two good Rebel fleets is going to be a really, really strong play for mid-game players, especially because you're building a good squad, in Jedi Knight Luke and other characters. You're bumping up the power of that CLS squad to maybe take down, clean up Galactic Legends, or basically have your gas counter on lockdown for all of eternity. You're building, a couple of good ships because you have down here Wedge and Biggs at relics, which are going to make those two characters very strong for that Rebel fleet in the mid-game. The Y-Wing, of course. Hermit Yoda, Old Ben, obviously go with Jedi Knight Luke to make that SLKR counter. And then Lando and Princess Leia are kind of just extra filler now that datacrons are so important, just having a couple extra R3, R5s to fill out a couple of Rebel squads so you can use datacrons. So his requirements are fantastic. What about the character himself? Where does he struggle? Where is he good? I think JML is uniquely A tier in everything, right? Some characters, or some GLs rather, are S tier in something and then maybe C tier in another thing. And this, of course, is related to other Galactic Legends, right? The worst Galactic Legend that we'll talk about probably next episode, Sith Eternal Emperor, is still better than all of the other non-Galactic Legend teams because they're Galactic Legends, right? So the A tier, C tier, S, like that, all of that when we talk specifically about the characters or about the Galactic Legends is simply referring to them in relation to the other Galactic Legends. So characters like JMK are like S tier offense and defense, right? Lord Vader is kind of like a B tier defense, maybe even C tier, but an S tier offense. SLKR, he's about a B tier defense, but he's like an A tier on offense. Ray, she's an S tier defense and kind of a B tier offense. And C is an A to an A plus tier offense and the bottom of the barrel in terms of defense. I think JML sits really pretty at probably A tier defense, A tier offense, right? If you got to throw him on defense with a Jedi Knight Luke, whether we're not going to include Datacrons, even though, you know, good players are factoring in Datacrons. So Datacron's going to be gone in a couple of months, but there'll likely be Jedi and Rebel Datacrons to kind of help support his requirements and him a little bit in the future, which will definitely help. But on offense, you can beat a lot of stuff, right? If we take Datacrons out of the consideration, or even with Riposte for the last 3 months, he's been able to beat a lot. And on defense, he's no slouch either, right? Obviously, the Galactic Legends are built in a way that, for the most part, if you do some finagling with some mods and some characters, and now with some Datacrons, you can kind of always eke out a win, either on offense or defense versus all of them. I feel like they're in a fairly balanced state, right? Like if you told me you took C to beat JMK, you know, it's less common than saying you took JMK to beat C, but it's still possible. It's not as efficient, it's not as nice, but all of the Galactic Legends can beat each other. So I think just having a Galactic Legend kind of as your second Galactic Legend that you can put on offense, you can put on defense, you can split apart from Jedi Knight Luke if you want to save Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Knight Revan, Hermit Yoda, Old Ben, and someone else, maybe like a Bastila Shan or something like that, to beat SLKRs that happen to go on defense, or to beat another quality team, or break Jedi Knight Revan and Jedi Knight Luke into 2 separate Jedi teams and have JML as a third Jedi team to kind of expand out your roster, which is something that a lot of new players are going to have, not new players, but mid-game players are going to have to do. You know, you're 5 million, 4 million, you're punching up against 7, 8, 9 million GPs. You're going to have to split your account up more than, you know, say that 8 or 9 million GP player who can kind of condense teams into quality teams. I think he gives you a lot of flexibility on offense, on defense, to split up those Jedi units across, you know, the entire board, so that sometimes you're going to fight a situation like we just had one in GAC where our opponent placed 5 Galactic Legends. We placed our JMK on defense. We only had JML for offense, right? We split up a Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke team to take out one. I think we did that against SLKR. We did JML with like trash with Riposte Datacron against Ray, took Ray out. And then we had to do some finagling with Gas and like a GG and like a multiple shot team to beat like a, I think it was a C or something on defense to break open that wall. Like you have that flexibility. I don't know why I clicked on SOKR. You have that flexibility to kind of move him within the very large Jedi faction to meet the needs. You know, sometimes you're going to want a stonewall defense. Your opponent might be too wide for where their roster is. Maybe they haven't built enough height, and you can put a lot of the Jedi into one condensed team that might be, you know, struggle on defense for your opponent. JML is kind of that, I don't know, he's like the jack of all trades kind of Galactic Legend, which is why I think he's a very good third Galactic Legend, because whatever your first Galactic Legend is, he's going to complement whatever their weakness is. You know, you went for the best Galactic Legend in JMK, you're going to grab the second best Galactic Legend in JML. It's going to complement your roster even more. You're going to have an S tier, and then you're going to add an A tier. You went for a Galactic Legend like C or SLKR first, it's going to give you that defensive viability that you might be lacking with those both Galactic Legends. Same thing with like Lord Vader. You grab Rey first for whatever reason, it's going to give you some offensive firepower to kind of make up for Rey's tendency to be placed on defense. He is kind of the perfect second Galactic Legend for any account, regardless of what you guys want to farm. All right, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. This has been our worst month. Obviously, as you guys know, I've been in and out of YouTube a lot recently because of life and because of trying to start a new career, which has been very difficult and very stressful. So if you guys want to subscribe to show your support, it doesn't actually do anything except for boost my ego. That would be awesome. If you guys want to watch the When You Should Farm SLKR video, boom, it will be right here. But as always, I love you guys, and I'll see you later.